Okay, so once after I went home from a party, dressed as a slutty Electra after a Halloween event, and no, I did not find my personal daredevil. I had basically been waiting for my Uber home, and I'm one of those people that after a party I'll be like, hey, does anyone need me to take home any extra food? And people always say, oh yeah, fuck yeah, of course, because of course in their head it's like, oh, she's so nice, she's taking this off our hands, because we had no use for all these fucking pizzas and excess chips and whatever. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm broke as fuck, I just love free food, fuck y'all. But I saw a homeless shanty or tent or whatever you call them right outside the building. And of course it's late at night and I'm dressed as a slutty Electra with the thigh ties and everything, and all I have is like a little plastic fucking sword to defend myself. So long story short, I was not feeling very confident, but I did have 3 pizzas in my hand and they were all relatively fresh, and at first I thought I should give them these pizzas because it would be the morally right thing to do. If they don't have any food, then they could really appreciate it. But number 1, no offense, it was like past midnight. Number 2, I was already scared shitless. Number 3, I really had to piss. Number 4, I'm broke as fuck and I already forget to eat myself. I don't always want to rush to give away food when I just barely managed to go through a day without fainting. And number 5, I forgot number 5 because my memory is fucked because I didn't eat until just 20 minutes ago and it's fucking midnight, so point and proven. Anyway, give me a sec. So I went home and I thought, okay, next time I go in this area I should like, maybe I'll get them some more food. But basically, I went home, and of course with the usual thing that happens when a stupid person buys an insane amount of pizza that they know damn well they won't fucking finish, of course it all got stale within like 2 to 3 days, like unedible. Like I couldn't even go, okay, maybe they'll accept cold pizza or lukewarm. It was literally hard, as in like even if you tried the whole water and frying pan method, that shit wasn't gonna work. And I felt guilty, so I went, okay, maybe someday in the future when I know I have excess food, I can go give it to these people and make up for what I did, because I felt really fucking guilty in my soul. And so that's what I did. Because then December, after a Christmas party and a few months had gone by, I was like, okay, these cold cuts are still fresh, but I know damn well that I hate touching cold raw meat. I should go give them to the homeless people. And I did. Despite me being like scrawny as shit and also anxious, lightheaded, oh, I need to eat more food in a day. Holy shit, getting all your calories at night is not a bad idea. Is a fucking terrible idea. Anyway, back to the story. It's not a smart call going alone, but it was basically like, fuck it. Even if the shanty is the size of like 2 fucking vans and I'm alone and very vulnerable and no one would care or notice if I had went missing for a long time, I'm still gonna go. So I went ahead, I bought all the cold cuts in a bag, and I went and bought some bananas too, because I thought, what kind of asshole brings just a bunch of meat in a bag? Like, here you go, homeless people, here, peasants, here's your fucking meat bag. No, I bought like 70-cent bananas with my broke ass and some water bottles. And of course they loved it. And of course, do you know how fucking nervous I was going up to this tent? Like, I didn't like, it was made out of fucking plastic and wood. Mostly plastic. So it's not like I could knock like, hello, is anyone there? Apartment 236? It's like, no, I had to be like, is anybody in there? And they just went, oh, hi, how are you? And they were really polite. We got in, he introduced himself. And also, of course, when he noticed I was here alone, he was like, that's really brave of you, but here, let me teach you some self-defense. And he and several other men were also inside of the tent. I'm very lucky the situation went well, but like, I don't know, I'm pretty good at like, I don't know. I feel like I attract good people. Still, be careful, be smart about your decisions. Anyway, to speed this up, I met this man named Priest, and also his cousin Conrad, if I believe that's the name, if I remember well. And the thing about Priest is, 1, he is an excommunicated Mormon priest. He got kicked out of his like temple or whatever because he was selling drugs and also homeless. Lots of factors, one can say. But he still chose to believe in the religion, and he's very spiritual and a very nice guy. 2, he taught me self-defense because he noticed, oh, you're very skinny, very thin, and also very afraid and vulnerable. You're lucky this went well. Here, let me teach you self-defense for if a man comes up behind you, or what can happen, my phone is dying, if this happens or that happens. And he taught me a lot of moves, and I appreciate him. And everyone was really friendly. They were even like, here, come on, let's meet the whole crew. I met everybody in there. Everybody was friendly. I even got to sit down. And as we were sitting down, he pulled out his phone like, hey, have you ever seen epic rap battles on YouTube? And my naive ass You're gonna hate me for this. I didn't know homeless people had phones. But to be fair, I was very naive, very inexperienced with homeless people. And also just, I don't know, I thought it was like in the 80s where it's like if you, like, you're homeless, like as in fully homeless, not as in, oh yeah, I have an iPhone like 8 or 9 or something and I watch fucking YouTube on it. But it's a new fucking generation, shit changes. But anyway, then I was like, wait, so how do you like pay for it? And then he was like, oh, easy, I get Wi-Fi from one of the dudes I sell my drugs to. And then that was when I realized, oh, he's a drug dealer, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not gonna go to hell for that. I didn't say it, but sorry for the gesture. Anyway, moving on. And then he was like, oh yeah, one of the dudes I sell my drugs to, he basically just was like, hey, I don't have any money, what can I do to get some drugs from you? And I was like, put me on your Wi-Fi plan. And he fucking did it. And then I thought, that sounds so absurd, but like, you know what, fuck it. And then he just started playing epic rap battles on his phone, and he was talking about the whole Marilyn Monroe versus fucking Cleopatra episode, and he was rapping that shit word for word. He had ADHD, which I also found cool. I think he had ADHD and maybe Asperger's, so we got along very well. Similarities. And he rapped every single line, word for word, in epic rap battles. At least 3 different episodes. Rapid speed. Like, if he was Eminem and Nicki Minaj's fucking love child, he power rapped that shit. It was amazing. And also scary, because eventually it just sounded like gibberish, and I was like, okay. And I just realized, oh yes, I am in a tent with like random 40-year-old men and they're all sitting down, and hey, what's that glass pipe this one guy has? And this guy had a glass pipe, put it in his mouth, put some clear little crystals in it, put it in his mouth, smoked it, lit it up, and blew out like huge fucking puffs of smoke. Like, he looked like he was getting exorcised and a ghost was coming out of his mouth. And I'm just watching him like, that looks so fucking cool. I wonder what he's doing. And then my naive ass, I'll just say I've dated people who smoke weed. And let me tell you, there's not a bunch of differences between the average fucking 420 obsessed stoner fucking college student and a fucking crackhead. Because long story short, they both look fucking insane and they're both addicted. But either way. And so I thought he was doing clear dabs. I thought that was a thing. And so the whole time I'm watching this dude, he's like, I'm just thinking, man, dabs look so pretty. That smoke is really pretty. Maybe I should get into it. And the guy sees me staring. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you want some? And I'm like, no, thank you. It's chill. Thank you. I just like watching, because I really do like watching. And then only like a few hours later, as me and Priest were still hanging out and he was talking about his life, because he's a really chill dude, he was like, oh, by the way, speed means meth, by the way. Speed means meth, if you didn't understand when we were talking about doing speed or selling speed or being on speed. And then my mind was fucking blown. Do you know how fucking hilarious it is to see someone smoking meth in front of me and not even think it's meth? To be that fucking naive, to just be like, oh yes, clear dabs. Totally a thing, 420 blaze it, bro. It's like, once that happened, it was like, oh my god. And so now, whenever I'm old and decrepit, I can go tell my grandkids, hey, let me tell you about when I graduated high school and I was in a shanty with a man who sells drugs and takes Wi-Fi as payment. And how I watched a bunch of grown men do crack in a tent, or meth, whatever you call it. But the funny thing is, I like how every part of the story is believable, but the part that's unbelievable for me is that clear dabs don't exist. So you mean to tell me that there's a drug dealer out there who is a fucking priest, number one, and a fucking priest drug dealer that accepts fucking Xfinity Wi-Fi from his customers. That's a thing, and one that can rap epic rap battles on YouTube episodes. Fucking precisely. But the one thing that does not exist in this fucking day and age is invisible clear dabs. What the fuck? And long story short, yeah, they were all very cool guys. We had a lot of fun, and that's actually how I met a lot of the homeless people I know in Berkeley now, and they're all very fucking sweet. And some of them offer me acid for $2, but I don't accept it because I don't do drugs. I appreciate drug use though. And that's also how I got an interest in interviewing the homeless, because a lot of people have interesting lives. So long story short, if you can feature local homeless, that would be amazing, because you might get a great experience from it. Even if it's not like being able to witness someone smoking meth for the first time in your life, it could also be like finding new people who you have in common with, like disabilities, advice, anything. Do it. It's worth it. Fuck you. Love you. Peace out. Bye. Also, like and subscribe or share. Bye.